Friday night, the Army Gymnastics team will welcome Air Force to West Point. Both teams are coming off of last weekend's All-Academy Championships. Head coach Doug Van Everen says the Black Knights are ready to build off of their third-place finish.
For us to be able to win this competition, we really have to have a high hit percentage, and we've been hitting around 75%, which is not bad. Unfortunately, the 25% are some costly mistakes, and those we can't afford.
The Lichtenberg Tennis Center will be a busy place this weekend. The women's tennis team will take on St. John's, Fairleigh Dickinson, and Bryant. After last week's win over Air Force, the men's tennis team will host Columbia before opening Patriot League play with Lafayette and Holy Cross on Sunday. The swimming and diving teams will make their way to Annapolis to continue postseason action with the ECAC Championships. Preliminaries start Friday morning with the finals beginning that night as well. The hockey team will conclude their regular season with a home-and-home series against Sacred Heart. Saturday night's game is also senior night for the Black Knights. Head coach Brian Riley says this class's legacy goes beyond what they've done in an Army sweater.
I think what they've done off the ice, what they've done in the classroom, what they've done in the community, they've really, really raised the bar and set a high standard that I know, guys are coming after them are going to want to try to be just like this class. So they've done a tremendous job here as cadets, not only as hockey players, but like I said, as cadets, and that's truly what it's all about.
After 2 weeks off, the softball team is back in action when they take part in this weekend's Spartan Classic. The Black Knights will play 2 games against host Norfolk State and single games opposite Delaware and Monmouth. The baseball team is also on the road, squaring off with George Washington for a 3-game series. The 2 teams will play a doubleheader on Saturday and a single game on Sunday. It's a trip down south for the Army Rifle team as they compete in this year's Great America Rifle Conference Championships. Thanks to a strong showing at last week's qualifier, the Black Knights clinched a berth in the NCAA Championships. Head coach Major Ron Wigger loves where his team is at right now.
I was telling the team the other day after the qualifier that from last fall of 11 to this spring of 2012, I've never had a team that has made as much progress in that time frame in my 12 years here at West Point. Just a tremendous level of progress.
Back at West Point, the men's basketball team will host Lehigh in their final regular season game of the year Saturday afternoon. Here's head coach Zach Spiker reflecting on this year's senior class.
This is a group that really speaks to sticking with the process, and they've all had their own challenges along the way. But I'm very proud of Julian, Pat, and Josh for their perseverance and willingness to keep fighting through everything, and to go through West Point and be a 4-year basketball player is something very, very special, and they're going to accomplish that, and I'm very excited for them.
The women's basketball team is on the road for their regular season finale as they face the Mountain Hawks on Saturday night. Following Wednesday's win over Holy Cross, head coach Dave McGarity says his team has matured in a big way since the beginning of the season.
This team has just fought and scratched and clawed all year long, and they've just found ways to win games. Even back in December, as you remember, Rick, we just looked like we just couldn't get out of our own way, losing 1-point games, 2-point games. But, we did it with just some toughness and some grit.
Rounding out the weekend, the lacrosse team is at number 6 Syracuse for their first road game of the season. Head coach Joe Albarisi says any game against the Orange is a meaningful one.
As a coach, I find it very exciting to play one of the best teams in the country, maybe the most storied program in a premier facility like the Carrier Dome. It's a homecoming of sorts for a lot of our guys because we do have a good contingent of upstate New York players. But, a lot of our guys, Rick, this is one of the big things that they come for. They want to play against the best in the country, and Syracuse has been that team year in and year out. So there's a lot of excitement as we approach Syracuse this week.
With this week's weekend preview, Rick Johnston, ITT Excellus Night Vision.